We are a nonprofit organization, which is really important. We have a mission statement and a goal, and basically at the heart of it, the mission is to save and share and conserve open-pollinated varieties. When Seed Savers started, we were nothing more than just a network, and over the course of so many years we have this large collection of open-pollinated varieties. And so our main reason for existing is because we've really have this passionate network of home gardeners. And that's the key. Home gardeners have really built this organization to what it is today. It's really remarkable to think of that in the beginning, Kent and Diane, who started the organization, put out a call, and all of a sudden hundreds of people, you know, in 5 years said, we're concerned about the loss of biodiversity in our food system as well.
That's how they started the very first edition of the exchange, which at the time was called True Seed Exchange. And there were 29 people, and yeah, they just had different seeds they wanted to share. Diane and Kent had written some letters to some different magazines and just pretty much invited people and said, if you have seeds that you would like to share, you can write us a letter, and we're going to put it together in a document and send it back out. And from there, individuals were able to just reach out directly to whoever had a seed that they wanted and request it. And that's how it worked.
And so now we have over 10,000 members that support our mission. You can find over 12,000 open-pollinated tomatoes now in commercial seed catalogs. 40 years ago, you could probably find just a couple hundred, if that. So the whole reason for Seed Savers existing is because of that, and it's built upon open access and sharing.
We don't own any of these varieties. We didn't breed. We don't breed here. So everything that we have came from somebody else, and our only mission is to keep these varieties alive and share them with as many people as we can. We sometimes say here that we've done our job when we've put ourselves out of business, because, you know, when the time comes when nobody wants to buy the seeds from our catalog anymore, it means that everybody else is growing and saving their own seeds. Yeah. And that's what we want.
The catalog offers about 600 varieties, and you can find about 20,000 varieties in the yearbook. The catalog is really for the home gardener that doesn't really want to save seed per se, because they don't think they can. The yearbook, the emphasis is request these seeds, so then the next year you can save the seed to list them again. And that's the big challenge that we're facing now, because the number of listers has gone down quite a bit since the mid-90s. And I think a big part of that is people aren't saving seeds like they used to, just because of the you know, a lot of people are moving into urban areas and they just don't have the space or the time anymore. They can find a lot of these open-pollinated varieties on the market now.
So I coordinate the exchange, which is an international gardener swap, a seed swap. And this is the original program started by Seed Savers in 1975.
We have at Seed Savers Exchange approximately 45 full-time staff. That includes the preservation department, the seed house, which puts out a commercial catalog, marketing department, development, and then our visitor center. The bulk of our financing comes from selling seeds through the catalog and the seed house. We do get membership money coming in. We do get gifts. People just provide donations and gifts. We do grants every once in a while. Not government grants, but private foundation grants.
The United States is a country of immigrants, and the later generations sometimes have a renewed interest in the history of their grandparents or great-grandparents. Maybe they want to try to reconnect with that heritage, and And I think that's another reason why people get excited about seed stories. That's the whole picture. When you have the seeds and when you have information about them, you know why they've been used, why they're special to somebody. I think it just makes it all the more, it gives you a stronger connection to the variety that you might be growing. And it's a family heirloom potato that came to us from a family in Oregon. Loris Borden, she's the grandmother of the young man who sent the potatoes to our collection. And her family has been growing this for longer than she can remember. This photo was taken in about 1966. This is the same woman, and she is sitting in amongst a number of potatoes there with one of her other siblings. So these are potatoes that both Loris but also her father and grandfather grew. We would like to know the names of those people and where did they garden, and maybe there were particular garden practices or traditions that they had, in addition to notes taken during a phone conversation or email correspondence where a seed story is told. Sometimes people are very generous and share photos of themselves or of their parents or an earlier generation who grew a variety. This variety of bean is called Connecticut Wonder, and it was one of the beans that John Withy, who was a bean collector in Massachusetts, had received. And in 1981, when John Withy gave a sample of all of the 1,186 beans in his own collection, he gave samples to Seed Savers Exchange. We know that stories can be inspiring and can capture people's attention and curiosity. So we want to be able to share the information that we have because it's all educational as well.
The main job is to document the varieties in our collection. So we've got about 25,000 varieties in the collection, and a lot of those came to us from donors or from seed companies, or they came from many different places, and we don't know much about them. So we grow them here on the farm for evaluation, and we do a basic, we record characteristics of these varieties that home gardeners want to know, essentially.
We do a lot of taste trials, because that's what people care a lot about, is what something tastes like, you know? So we do like formal taste trials with us. We also take like timing notes for maturity, when things are flowering, when they're setting fruit or setting seed. It's pretty extensive, but it's nothing too complicated.
In an average year, we'll grow maybe 400, 500 varieties from the collection, just for evaluation. Those varieties are from 30 to 40 different crop types. And for each crop type, we have a different set of descriptors. We do a lot of plant measurements, like the height of the plants, the spread of the canopy. We look at things like the color of the fruit, the shape of the fruit. And we've taken a lot of these descriptors from the USDA, and then also Bioversity in Italy. They have some published descriptor lists, so we've taken some from there as well. And we make up our own too, as we need to, because our collection is different from the USDA's and from other collections, and sometimes we want to gather information that's specific to the people that are ordering our seeds and just the types of varieties that we have in our collection.
What the tissue culture process is a way that we keep our potato varieties alive and available. We carry over 700 different varieties of potatoes, and that's a lot of potatoes. If we wanted to keep those going in the field, we would basically just be a potato farm. So in tissue culture, what we do is we just keep a small sample of the plant alive in a test tube on a growth medium, and just every couple of months I gotta take it out of the long-term storage. And around every 6 to 8 months, I take one of them out. I grow it on regular growth medium called MS, and then that revitalizes it. I am doing my own virus eradication here. We just started it. We only have a few that we put out in the field. They have to be virus-free, and only about 10% of our collection is virus-free right now. And some of them we grow from tubers, but some also go from tissue culture out to the field.
Another program we started is the Community Seed Network. This program is free to participate. You're just volunteering to put yourself on this map and be of assistance to other seed savers or seed organizations. 352 programs signed up online so far, and we just launched this website last year. Predominantly United States and Canada, and we have seed libraries, but in addition to that, seed banks, folks doing community seed gardening, folks who save seeds and have a lot of expertise on the technical abilities of saving seed. We also try to facilitate the ability of our members and exchange participants to be able to communicate and reach out to each other. And one of the most popular ways that happens is our summer campout. It is an annual kind of convergence that happens here, and has been happening almost as long as Seed Savers Exchange has existed. We have important speakers that come from all over the country, a lot of whom are members that support us or have participated in various Seed Savers Exchange programs. A lot of gardeners who have been purchasing Seed Savers Exchange seeds and that want to come out visit the place where their seeds came from in the organization that most of them came from. Also, we have exchange participants who have perhaps been requesting seeds from different people that, until they came to Seed Savers and experienced the campout, only knew these people on paper. So it's really exciting to see people meeting each other for the very first time here. It's a really good way to get to know your fellow seed savers.
We also have a Citizen Science Corps program, and one of the programs in the Citizen Science Corps is called ADAPT. That program, the way it works is we identify varieties every year that are outstanding, that, for whatever reason, productivity, flavor is a really big one. And we sort of have a list of those outstanding varieties, and we're using the ADAPT program to further test those varieties to see if they perform well for people all over the country. And if they do, then they might be candidates for us to put in our catalog. So it enables us to trial our varieties in different regions of the country and see how popular they are and adaptable they are to different climates and soils and growing conditions and whatever. Before we started working with SeedLinked, we didn't really have a good platform to receive feedback from people and then to publish the results. SeedLinked, now people can they can enter their data directly into SeedLinked, and then SeedLinked is going to analyze that data and display it to people. So everybody can it's all on this one website. It's really convenient, and we don't have to do the work of reading everybody's notes and then compiling it and trying to publish something. We have about 120 participants in the ADAPT program this year. So Julie has the Seed to Kitchen Collaborative, and she trials varieties at her farm on campus, and then at different farms around the upper Midwest, so mostly in Wisconsin, but also Minnesota, Illinois, and Michigan. We've sent her varieties from our collection to trial on the farm and at farms throughout the upper Midwest. That's just another way for us to get information on how well these varieties perform in different locations.
And the other exhibit we have is an exhibit about people that have started their own seed companies because they were inspired by the work that Seed Savers Exchange had been doing since the beginning. It's really quite interesting to see how many seed companies have kind of split off and started because of Seed Savers Exchange.
In the fall of 2018, we sent seeds of a squash back to the Taos Pueblo in New Mexico, where they held a rematriation ceremony. You're more familiar with the word repatriation, which is returning something back to where it came from. In indigenous communities, the women were often the gardeners and the seed caretakers. So we have adjusted the word from repatriation to rematriation as a way to honor and reflect that tradition. This year we are growing maybe a dozen or so varieties, which we hope to be able to rematriate back to different communities at the end of the growing season.
It's really remarkable to see how just a small idea can really become this big, grandiose idea.